Did you know that YouTube have resources which actually tell you how to grow?
What do you mean?
No? Don't worry, because I read them all for you. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you how you can grow on YouTube according to YouTube. I'm also going to be sharing some editing tips for your videos using Riverside, who are the sponsor of today's video. So let's get to it. So step 1 for growing on YouTube according to YouTube. This step is called focusing on the essentials. Now, YouTube believe that the best content on their platform is content which is authentic and genuine. So what they recommend that you do when you're first starting out on YouTube is to find content ideas that resonate with you and your audience the most. I love this tip because it merges the two most important stakeholders when it comes to your YouTube growth. That's you, the content that you care about, the things that you're interested in, and your audience, the people who are going to be watching and consuming and hopefully supporting your content in the future. So in order to come up with content ideas which feel authentic and genuine to you, YouTube recommends that you ask yourself these 2 questions. The first is, what type of content would you enjoy as a viewer? And the second is, what type of content do you think keeps viewers watching and wanting to come back? Now, I'm doing everything in my power not to take over this video and just start sharing my own tips and tricks, but I am just going to skew a few things based on my own experience that might help you. I know you're sick of hearing my tips on how to grow on YouTube. I know you are. You don't have to tell me, I know you are, which is why I'm filming this. However, I do have some context which is going to help. When it comes to the question about what type of content do you enjoy watching on YouTube, this is a useful question, but I want you to keep in mind that just because you enjoy watching a certain type of video doesn't mean that you have to replicate it. For example, I love watching vlogs. Love watching vlogs. How many vlogs have you seen from me on this channel? If you're not part of my secret channel, which is like the paid community, you can join via the join button, then you've probably not seen any vlogs from me because that's where all of those vlogs live, right? And that's okay, because whilst I enjoy watching that content, I also know that the content that I want to create and the content that my audience are interested in is a slightly different format. So keep that in mind. Also, when it comes to the question around what keeps viewers watching and wanting to come back, if you're really early in your journey, you may not know this yet, and that's okay. Start creating and start sharing and use your analytics to actually see which content is being well received by your audience. That's what you can use to actually answer that question. So when YouTube provide advice on focusing on the essentials, which as a reminder is step 1, in addition to figuring out what content ideas resonate with you and your audience, they also talk about some other elements of your YouTube presence which they deem as essential. These elements include your thumbnails, your titles, and your descriptions. Let's start with your thumbnails. Some key tips from YouTube for creating effective thumbnails include showing your face, including text that is clear and easy to read, and experimenting with different tone styles. So maybe you want to go with a thumbnail that's quite funny and outrageous, or maybe you want to go with a thumbnail that's a bit more mysterious. It hints towards what the video might be, or maybe more descriptive, where you're clearly stating what your video is about and what value your audience can get if they decide to click on it. Try and find your style, make sure it aligns with you and who you are, and utilize that when you are creating your thumbnails. If you're looking for further guidance on your thumbnails, maybe an entire demonstration where someone shows you how to create a thumbnail from scratch, I'm going to link to my 6-month YouTube growth program below. It's a collection of masterclasses, resources, and lessons, which are designed to help you grow your YouTube channel in 6 months or less, right? And one amongst many of those lessons is a full detailed breakdown on how to create the best thumbnail. If we talk about some of the other elements that they mentioned, they also spoke about your titles. When it comes to your titles, they recommend that they are engaging and that they are clear. So try and write a title that you think your audience will respond to, but also make sure that it's really clear what you're talking about. So don't title your videos with like an inside joke or with an acronym that most people don't know. You're aiming for clarity. And then of course, there's your descriptions. This is where your tone can really thrive. So when we spoke about whether you were going to be funny or mysterious or descriptive, your description is really where this can thrive. A little added tip from me, I know, I'm trying to hold them in, but just added tip for me. When it comes to your description, I think this is a great opportunity for you to clearly explain what your video is about. This is really useful for things like search engine optimization. We won't dive into it too much now because that is like a whole hour's worth of content. I do cover it in the 6-month program that I mentioned, which is linked below, right? But it does help with your search engine optimization because when you are describing what your video is about really clearly in your description, you're increasing the chances of YouTube understanding what your video is about. When YouTube understands what your video is about, you increase the chances of it appearing when people are searching for similar videos on YouTube. So when someone goes into YouTube and searches for videos about recipes, if YouTube knows that your video is about a recipe, it might share it to them, right? So that's like a very basic explanation, but that's one reason why I think being descriptive is really powerful. It's also a great place to put your affiliate links, guys. At a bare minimum, you should be linking what cameras, mics, etc. you're using for your content. Even if you're just using your phone, you can join Amazon's affiliate program, share some links so that if people decide to purchase the same kit is you, you earn a commission. All right, step number 2 in how to grow on YouTube according to YouTube is to stay consistent. I know you've heard it before, but it's because it actually works. Now, YouTube believes that the reason why consistency is so important is because it helps you build trust with your viewers, helps you improve over time, and also helps you create sustainable habits. I love this explanation because I think it covers all bases. I think sometimes we talk about consistency so frequently, but rarely talk about why consistency is so important. It is not just because the algorithm loves it when you upload content on a regular basis. It's also because it helps you build the habits that you need to remain a consistent creator in the future. And as mentioned, and I think probably the most important element, is that it helps you improve your content. The more content you create on a more regular basis, the better you get at content creation, right? Now, it's important when it comes to consistency that you do not burn out. A few ways to avoid burning out, according to YouTube, and also according to me, because I do agree with these, is to film in batches. Love a good batching sesh. Spoiler alert, break the fourth wall. This is the 3rd video that I'm filming today. I say spoiler, but I mean, I'm in the same clothes, so it's probably pretty obvious. But yeah, this is the end of this week's batching session where I film 3 videos in one go, and I'm going to do the same thing next week. And it means that I can always remain on top of my YouTube schedule, and it just helps me remain consistent and avoid burning out. They also recommend that you utilize YouTube scheduling tools to automate your posting. Big tick from me. I don't know what I would do without the scheduling tools. You can fully upload a YouTube video, whether it's a short video or a long video, add your description, add your thumbnails, add every element that you want, schedule it, and it will go live by itself at a later date. I could not tell you the last time I live posted a YouTube video, which basically means I uploaded it and it went live straight away. Couldn't tell you. I'm always scheduling in advance. It's a huge weight off my shoulders when I do this. Bonus tip for me, if you want to make sure that you are engaging with comments as they roll in when you first start sharing your videos, try setting a reminder for when your videos are scheduled. That's what I do with my channel. I have a reminder going off every Wednesday and every Sunday at 1:30 p.m, which says YouTube video live. And it's just my little nudge to open up my studio app, go on the video and respond to some comments and see how the video is being received, right? So just because you're scheduling ahead of time doesn't mean that you should forget about your content and never check on it again. It just means that you don't have to do all the laborsome, is that a word? Labor-inducing, tiring, I'm not even going to Google it, tiring tasks that come with uploading your content. Another huge tip for me when it comes to remaining consistent is to use Riverside's editing tools to allow you to create high quality content quickly and efficiently. Now, if you're not familiar with Riverside, don't worry. I'm going to show you some of the key tools that I use which help me edit my videos quickly. One of my favorite tools is the text editor. If we click on this video here, I'll show you how it works. Essentially, what this text editor does is it translates your entire video and it breaks down every single word that you say on the left in this editing window. What you're then able to do is edit your video by editing the transcript. So I can scroll down here and remove any sections of this video that I know I don't want to include. For example, I can see myself babbling a bit here and saying like, am I blurred? Am I in focus? Like, babe, what are you talking about? I can highlight this, click the delete button, and Riverside will delete that section of my video with just one click. This is one of the best and most efficient ways for you to clean up your videos, edit your videos, and make sure you're happy with everything included without you having to spend hours and hours sitting through lots and lots of footage. Another tool that I want to show you, which is going to help you remain consistent on YouTube, is called the Magic Clips tool. Now, this one's really useful because it basically allows you to take long form videos like the one that you just saw and repurpose them into shorts, which is amazing because you get way more out of the video content that you're creating, and you're able to do that with just a few clicks. So let's click on Magic Clips down here. I'm going to leave all the settings as they are, but you're welcome to change them if you want. I usually just like to leave them all in auto. Generate clips, wait a few seconds. And then here you can see a bunch of different clips which have been generated using Riverside and AI. What I love about this tool is that you're able to tweak these clips further should you need to. So it's not like it just shares the best clips for you to use and you have to use those. You can actually click on the edit button and it will open up the same editor that we saw previously. And you can use things like the text editing window in addition to the timeline editor in the below, and all of these features on the right hand side, which will allow you to do things like add captions to your shorts, add images to your shorts, design your shorts. You can literally tweak every single element of that short, and when you're happy with the end result, you can click the export button and you can export your video and share it as a short. So it's not just like it creates these videos for you and you can use them straight away, which of course you can if you wish, but you actually have the ability to edit them even further if you want to make sure they're just right. So if you're struggling with consistency and you want to utilize Riverside in order to create high quality content quickly and efficiently, I really recommend heading to the link in my description and using code JadeBeeson for 15% off when you upgrade your plan. Okay, step number 3 in our plight to grow our YouTube channel is to understand our audience, or at least that's what YouTube tells us. And I agree, okay? This step is all about digging into who your audience are, gaining a better understanding about the content that they love so that you can refine your YouTube content and help it perform even better. So YouTube recommends that in order to do this, you head to YouTube Analytics. I'll show you a quick demo of this on the screen. So I'm in my YouTube studio, I'm clicking on the Analytics tab, and then I'm clicking on the Audience tab. Now, YouTube Analytics are robust to say the least. Like, they really don't hold back when it comes to how much data we can get on our channel. And I love that about YouTube.
I love it.
But when it comes to this step, YouTube recommends that you focus on 3 different parts of your audience analytics. The first thing they want you to look at is when your viewers are active. So if we scroll down to the bottom, here you'll see a graph which will show you when my audience are most active. So the dark sections, the dark purple, is when most of my viewers are active on YouTube. Can you see? So people are usually active a little bit later in the day, and the best days for me are like Tuesday and Monday, which is funny because I post on Wednesdays and Sundays. I've actually considered changing this schedule multiple times, but it's so baked into my content creation process that I just haven't done it. But if you're not married to a schedule yet, this is a really great way for you to figure out which schedule works best for you. They also recommend that you look at the videos growing your audience section. So that's the section right here. Basically what this does is it breaks down the videos that are doing the best job at expanding your audience and actually growing your reach that you've shared within the last 90 days. I always find this section funny because mine always says low, and I'm like, oh. None of my videos are doing a good job at growing my audience, apparently, but that's okay. Regardless of whether it says low or not, these are the videos that I've shared in the last 90 days that are doing the best job at growing my audience. This is a great thing for you to review, have a look at what's performing the best and learn from it. Like here, I can clearly see that any video to do with changes coming to the creator economy or trends are helping me grow my audience, right? So that's a little sign to me to think, okay, well, when's the next time that I'm going to share an updated version of that video? Maybe I should share it sooner rather than later, right? They also recommend you look at the formats that your audience enjoys to watch. Here you can see that most people watch my videos and my shorts, but not so much my lives. Not going to make a huge difference to my strategy knowing that, but it's just worth keeping in mind in case I decide to become a streaming creator on YouTube. And another little bit from me is I actually find this section super useful as well, which is what your audience watches. This is literally telling you the different videos that your audience have enjoyed in the last 7 days. Remember, it's about inspiration, not imitation. So just because I'm seeing a video here that is performing really well doesn't mean that I should go ahead and create the exact same thing. But keeping your finger on the pulse when it comes to what's performing well in your industry at any given time can only be useful. Just do not copy. A pro tip that YouTube has provided here is to plan content around the information that you just gained. So by looking at that section of analytics, you should get a good idea of what your audience are enjoying. Plan content around that, right? Double down on the successful topics. Like maybe you uploaded a what I eat in a day video and it performed really well. Maybe you want to turn that into a series because clearly your audience are responding well to it, right? Step number 4 is to try using YouTube Shorts. Now, YouTube have said that this is the perfect time to experiment with different formats on their platform, and that Shorts can be a great way for you to expand. I just had a random thought. This isn't actually sponsored by YouTube. I have worked with YouTube in the past, and I just realized that this video could be giving sponsored. It's not sponsored. I just thought you'd find it useful. So I just need to get that on the record. So why upload shorts? YouTube believe uploading shorts is great because there's less pressure on the end result. They're quick and easy to create. And as I mentioned, they're great for discoverability. Also, they pointed out a new feature, which is called related videos, which allows you to connect your shorts to your long form videos. I have not tested this properly yet, but I will be testing it after this video because this could be amazing for creators who have both long form and short form content on their channel, because it gives you the ability to drive some of the people who are only watching your shorts through to your long form videos. So give that a test and watch this space. A pro tip from me on this one is to utilize magic clips. I showed you a demo of magic clips previously in this video. Utilize it. It utilizes AI to locate the best, most interesting parts of your long form videos and cut them down into shorter clips, which you can then turn into shorts. It is one of the most efficient ways for you to repurpose your long form content and for you to be active as both a long form content creator and a shorts creator. Step number 5, guys, we are almost there. This step is to learn from other creators. Now, when I first read this step, I immediately thought, oh, am I going to agree with this one? Because sometimes when we try to learn from other creators, we end up comparing our day 1 to their day 580. And the result of that could mean that we use some tips and tricks that they use for their channel that don't work for us because we're at different stages of our journey. But YouTube was one step ahead of me. And under this step, they immediately advise that you watch early content from big creators, because in their words, they started small too. And I think this is an ingenious tip. Find a creator who's big, who's in a similar space to you, watch their early videos, they started small and they took off from that content, right? The different tips and tricks that they're using in those videos are the ones that you could potentially utilize for your own channel. Remember, when I say this, I'm not talking about copying their content. We're just talking about getting inspiration, right? But that's super, super useful because that's a lot more aligned with where you are on your journey. YouTube continued to break down the fact that growth equals constant learning and improvement. There's a phrase I always like to say, which is, if your first video was amazing, you started too late. Your first video isn't supposed to be good. It's the continuous growth and learning, which is what gets us to where we want to be, right? Step number 6, also known as the final step, and this step is to join trending conversations. Now, there are some super popular trends which shape YouTube, and a lot of us aren't even aware of them. I actually did a series with YouTube a year or so ago where I'd break down the biggest trends on YouTube every single month. I'll link to one of the most recent ones up here. I think it's a great watch because it gives you just an idea of the sheer amount of trends available on YouTube and also the incredible impact these trends are having on the performance of our content. If you're wondering how you can find out what these trends are and utilize them for your own content, this is how. The first place you want to look is your trends tab in your analytics. It's appearing on the screen right now. So you click on analytics and you click on the trends tab. Here you can see a list of different videos which are performing well. You can also see that they break it down into different categories such as breakout videos, new videos to inspire you, short topics, etc., etc. YouTube also has a blog where they break down the biggest trends on their platform. Like, they're literally telling you this info. A lot of people don't know about it, and people who do know about it don't seem to want to utilize it. I will put a link to the blog below, but if you're ever curious about the biggest trends on YouTube, not just through the lens of your content, which is what the trends tab is for, but as a whole on like a macro level, the blog is where you want to be looking. Remember, pro tip, when it comes to jumping on trends, ensure that they align with who you are as a person, okay? There's no point jumping on a trend that is so out of sync with you and your personal brand, but doing it because you think it's going to help you grow. It won't, because it isn't aligned with who you are. Okay, that is how you can grow on YouTube according to YouTube. Now, if you want to edit and repurpose your videos quickly and easily, I really recommend checking out Riverside. The link is in my description, and do not forget to use code JadeBeeson to get 15% off. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's basically a breakdown of a bunch of viral content ideas that you can use for your own channel. Remember to only use the ones that align with you and your audience. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.